Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim. Join hosts Dan Melnick and Qasim Masood as they explore big ideas, limitless possibilities, and engage with visionaries, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders who dare to dream big, get inspired, motivated, and find practical tips for personal growth. Think big, dream bigger, and ignite your potential.
Welcome to Think Big with Dan and Qasim, and our guest today is Kayla. So, Kayla, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, tell us where you live and what you do for a living.
Yeah, so my name is Kayla. My full name is Kayla Subia, but I go by like Kayla Couture because of my store, K'lynn Kouture. I'm located here in Midland, Texas. We have a brick and mortar here in Midland, and then we also have the e-commerce website online. So we ship everywhere in the U.S.
Awesome. So, how did you get the idea to start your business?
So, I actually went to Texas Tech. I graduated from TTU in 2018. Oh my gosh, it's like the older I get, the more I forget. Um, I graduated from PTU in 2018 with a degree in biology, so I had plans of going to be a nurse. I came back to Midland and I was just like, what do I do? Like, that's not really what I want to do. Kind of like your typical college story where you graduate and then it was like reality hits you and you're like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? And everything. So I was like, you know what? I've always been into like fashion. I've always been into like social media, marketing stuff. So, why not give it a shot? So I really just did some research, maybe for like 4 to 8 weeks, and kind of started up really small. I started bartending to save up money to open my business. I didn't have any investors, any capital, anything like that. I kind of just started very, very small. Kind of worked with what I just had, and yeah, 4 years later, we're here in the Midland Mall.
So, how did it come from? Like, you had this idea like in your mind, and you were bartending, trying to save money. So, how did it come from that to actually opening a store in the mall? Like, that's really impressive.
So, yeah, I really was just like, this is something I really want to do for like myself, and like, why not take that risk? I have nothing to lose. I was fresh out of college. I really had no plan. So I was like, why not try this? I literally have nothing to lose. And if it fails, then it fails. If it doesn't work, then that's fine. Like, you can always, you have a degree and you can just get back up and try something new. I mean, your 20s are for trying and failing and then trying again and trial and error. So, it really just ended up working, and people really ended up liking it just because it's a really different style. We have really trendy items, something that you really don't see in West Texas.
So, in terms of finding the right location, like, how are you able to do that and find a place where you wanted to have your store?
So actually, I started off really small. I actually started in my mom's house. I did that for about like a month or so. And then I moved. This is probably like my fourth location so far. We only have one now, but I did really take like baby steps. Like, I moved to a small office downtown in Odessa. And then after that, a year later, I moved into another bigger loft in downtown Odessa. I actually lived there at the same time. So it was like my loft, my store slash apartment. So kind of just like work my way up. Next, I moved to a space in town, to an actual storefront, brick and mortar. So that was like my first real store. And really just taking it like, I want to say slow, but really just starting small. Like, people see what I have now and they're like, oh, I could never do that. Like, it's so big and that must have been a lot of work. But in reality, I really started really small.
Awesome. So in terms of, you mentioned that you're also on e-commerce. So what percent of your business is e-commerce versus in the store?
So I would say we are about like 80% in store and 20% online. I do have goals of really growing the online presence. But for now we do have mainly customer base here in store.
So do you feel like, you're growing the online presence? I feel like so many more people, like I'm not sure how it is in Midland, like I live in Dallas, but like so many like more
Oh, you
people
live
are
in
shooting.
Dallas?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, but I just see like, it's like at least for me, like, I don't go. I mean, I guess like it's also like different being a guy, but like I don't go to the mall, So I just wonder like how many more people you're seeing. It's like foot traffic in the mall, just in general, as opposed to even selling things online to people in different parts of the country.
Yeah, so I definitely think that everything is moving online, and that would definitely be my goal for the future, is to just honestly be online completely. Honestly, right now the prices are kind of crazy, so it kind of like eats up your profit. So I feel like the more you can like save on like expenses and overhead and stuff like that, then the better off you're gonna be. So I ideally, what I that was like my plan, was to just be online and just like ship out to where from where I'm at and stuff like that. But I kind of just wanted to get my brand in front of more people, physically, until I could really grow that. So I feel like I'm at a point now where I could really just completely go online.
Awesome. So how are you getting like the word out? How are you growing your online presence?
So, that's a good question. I get that a lot. I would say social media is a big one. I feel like some people, they don't really take it too serious, but for me, I feel like I was able to really grow my business through social media. And after we did grow on social media, I really got into like email marketing, SMS marketing, text message marketing. We have an app in the App Store, so we can send out push notifications at the click of a button. So really meeting your customers where they're at. Not everybody has emails, not everybody wants to give you their email. But everybody has a phone, right? Everybody can receive a text message. Everybody likes to have apps on their phone. Why? Because they don't want to go and type in a URL into a web browser, which is just the culture nowadays. Wherever we can save seconds and time, that's what we're gonna do. Convenience is really key. If you aren't offering your customers really that convenience and saving them time, even if it's a matter of seconds, then you're really going to lose that customer.
Yeah, definitely. So in terms of technology, like what other technology are you using? Are you using Shopify? Like where's your store based on in terms of just technology?
So we are on Shopify, started on Shopify. I'm still on Shopify. I always recommend Shopify to any e-commerce brand. We also use Shopify here in store for our point of sale system. I just feel like Shopify really sets the users up to really sell and really give you different avenues to really market your business and sell. There's a bunch of different like app integrations that you can use. That's where you can really use your email marketing, all your marketing through there, set up your website, which is really user friendly. Everyone always asks me like, who did your website? And I did my website on my own. I completely just they used to actually have a customer service number that you could call 24/7. They don't have that anymore, where you can just call anytime. But you can always request a call back and they will sit on the phone with you for hours at a time. Whatever you need, they're there to help you. And people always ask me like how much time I spend on that still. And actually I update my website every week and my app. Because we want to change ourselves every week. We want to change like the look of it, the face of it. You don't want people to keep going on your website and seeing the same thing over and over again, you know. So I think it's really important to keep it updated and really just it's so easy. I mean, for me, it sounds so easy, but they have so many resources that you can use to really get it done.
In terms of making updates and just working with you, like how big is your team? Is it just you doing everything, or do you have team members, or what does that look like?
So I do have a store manager where I have kind of trained her to do most of the stuff that I can do, but at the end of the day I like to have like the last word and be able to see what's going out, what's coming in, because it really is that important. You can't really send out a mass, like for example, like emails. We have like thousands of email subscribers and text message subscribers and all that stuff. App. So you have to be really careful what you're sending out and make sure you're not sending out too much and really blowing them up. But the perfect amount is really what we like to do. And we also have like a social media schedule, and sometimes we do schedule our posts and our messages to make sure that everything is going good with that.
So if somebody reaches out to your business, like who's responding? Is it always you or your store manager? Or I mean, or what does that look like? Or do you automate those processes?
So a lot of our stuff is automated, but for the most part, my store manager does answer most of the DMs and most of the messages and emails and stuff like that. But I try to kind of like keep an eye on everything just to make sure that things really getting out of hand.
Awesome. So in terms of, technology, have you looked at or used artificial intelligence in your business?
So it's funny because Shopify just released a new feature on the product description. So you can go and type in, say you're adding a new product to your website, you can go and type in. Now it's crazy because you don't even have to think anymore. You can just literally like AI everything. But they have a feature where you're adding a product and you can just type in like black dress. You can type in the material, you can type in everything about it. Is it a long dress? Is it sleeveless? Is it blah blah blah? Just literally keywords, and then it goes and it creates an entire description for you. You can tell it to have a tone. You can tell it to be playful, intelligent, really just literally any tone you want to pick. And then you can also add like an extra instruction. Say like I want to add emojis. So that's typically how I'm adding my products now, and it saves me so much time. And it literally is genius. Like it gives me a full description of the product, and it's just amazing.
So in terms of AI, like what else do you think, AI or technology can do to help your business save time and save money?
I think anything that can save you like time is saving you money. So I think any way they can offer me like AI, whether it's the apps. I know like in my text message marketing app, they also offer AI now, which is kind of the same thing like I explained with Shopify. You can go and type in 30% off today of jeans and then the code and then the website link, and then it goes and just curates like a message with the right amount of characters for you, and then it just sends it out like that. You don't even have to be like, what do I say? Like, how do I fit all of these words into this many characters? Like, it really just does that for you.
So in terms of your business, what would you say is your top priority for the next 3 to 6 months?
So that's a good one. I just want to really focus on growing my customer base and really just curating the perfect collections, inventory for our customers, really keeping up with the trends and everything like that. Maybe I used to have a goal of having like a second store and everything like that, but I think right now maybe focus on really going completely online would be ideal.
Yeah, that's smart, as we spoke about. I mean, we always specialize in e-commerce. We saw like a number that by 2040, 95% of transactions will be all on e-commerce.
Definitely, yeah. So we want to head in that direction.
So what is the one biggest piece of advice that you wish you knew before you started this company?
Oh my gosh, there's so much I've learned from where I started. I started with no experience in business, retail. I never even worked at a retail store. I never worked like I had a few handful of jobs before I started, and I just knew one thing, that I wanted to be my own boss, and that was really all I knew. And I just, did what I could and made something out of it. But I don't know, I just wish I knew like how much, well, I don't want to say like how much work it would be, but to just really be patient with yourself and just really timing is everything. Don't rush the process. You can't skip hard work. You can't take shortcuts, because at the end of the day, hard work is really just going to get you the results that you want.
100%. So if we're going to have this conversation again in 1 year from now, where do you expect things to go for your business?
So, I feel like in a year, it's either going to be like two directions. We'll either have another store. Was always my like dream. I feel like
Well,
the market out there would be perfect for
yeah.
our brand, and or be completely online, maybe not be in West Texas anymore, which would be crazy because it's really where I started, but I don't know. I feel like God's plan will just kind of work itself out.
I mean, I guess, do you mind just expanding more on that? Like you spoke about Dallas, like I live in Dallas, obviously. So it's like, what about Dallas specifically do you think your brand is, would benefit more from being in Dallas?
So I feel like where I'm at is a really, really small town. I don't know if you're familiar with Midland, but it's a really small town. It's really westerny. What we sell was really a huge risk because you don't really see that out here at all. But our next biggest city over would be like Dallas. I would skip Lubbock. I did go to Tech, but I would skip Lubbock, go straight to Dallas. That's the closest nearest city to where we're at. That could really be a success just because of the market. Our target audience is there. I have friends there that already model for me and brand ambassadors and stuff like that. There is a college there, and just it's like the perfect like storm would be there. All the clubs and all the bars and everything like that, people wanting to go out, just because our clothes mainly is like going out clothes and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it'd just be the perfect location.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I think you definitely do well in Dallas. I mean, just based on what you're describing, it makes a lot of sense because they're people are definitely, more fashionable in a bigger city. And you have,
Definitely.
lots of people that have moved here from California, for example. So
Right. So I think over there is just a little bit more fashion forward. They're a little bit more updated on like trends and stuff like that. So that would be great.
awesome. So if somebody watching this wanted to reach out to you, do you mind sharing like your website or social media handle? Like the best way for somebody watching this to find you?
Yeah, definitely. So you can reach me on Instagram at Kayla Couture, which is my personal account. K'lynn Kouture is our business account. And then our website is kaylyncouture.com. And then you can download our app in the App Store for iOS and Android. And what else? you can find us everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, literally
TikTok, TikTok.
TikTok, yes, for sure.
Awesome. Well, Kayla, thank you so much for your time. We're rooting for you. Hopefully, you guys keep growing. And yeah, thank you so much.
Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.
Awesome. All right. Thanks. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.